Okay, so this is the good stuff here. This video. This is it. We're going to jump right in. This is Corey Besack style number 2. This is I'm going to call it a trick, but it's a universe. I'm going to show you a universe today on the guitar. I can't tell you if I made this up or if Corey made this up. I think we really made it up together. It's hard to say. I learned a lot of things from him, and he learned a lot of things from me. This is some of my serious guitar secrets, and I'm giving them away here. So you know, I hope you can keep up. This is the E minor crazy transfusion jam, and it's all based on this very simple idea that if I play this 7th fret note alone and I strum the open strings, that is an E minor 7 chord. That's good. Just that. You get the idea. That is going to be the basis of that. Now we are going to elaborate that in the most well, we're gonna get, I don't know how crazy we're gonna get, but let's take it a step at a time here. So we have this going. Now, even just with one finger, you know, this is something we're gonna start very simple. This is something a beginner could do here. This is not going to be a beginner video. We're gonna probably, a lot of you know this kind of stuff already. You've probably been doing this, but just kind of bear with me because we're gonna get into some stuff here. So the basic idea is these are the notes. Now, if you know your scale, we could do a pentatonic scale. I'm going to use a Dorian scale for this video because Dorian is one of my favorite flavors of mode. If you know your modes, you can make this Aeolian, you can make it natural minor, you can make it harmonic minor, you can make it Phrygian, and there's a lot of things that you can do, and I like to do that too. But Dorian is my favorite flavor, so I'm going to show it to you in Dorian, and you're going to have to work it out in the other keys, but I think that you're going to get it. So I'm just going to really quickly go over the Dorian scale position on the 7th fret, which is what we're going to be using. So I'm starting on the A string on the 7th fret. That's the first note. This is the 9th fret on the A string, 10th fret, 7th fret. This is on the next string on the 7th fret, 9th fret. Now, normally when I play the Dorian scale, I reach this, but for what's going to happen today, I'm going to catch this note here on the 11th fret of the D. But also, we want to be aware that this note can also identically be played on the 6th fret, and that's going to be useful. We're having a note in 2 different places is going to allow us to have 2 different hand positions. Okay, so moving on. That's the 7th fret, 1st finger, 9th fret, so the 7th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret, 7th fret. Because I'm Dorian, I'm doing the 9th fret, 10th fret, 12th fret is the root of the scale. That is going to be what I'm going to be basing it on. So it's really, the essence of it is that all of these notes work, and with my other fingers, I'm going to play notes of that scale. Is basically really what's going to happen. So make sure as long as you have the scale down, let's check this out here. So this is starting on the 7th fret, going to the 9th fret. let's look at this move a little bit. So sliding with, playing with the index, going to the third finger, and then sliding the index up. This is something you want to get good at. Sliding in both directions. One of them is to do it quickly, or something like that if you want to do a double hammer on. But also getting that here so that I can get this note. So now here's the great thing. I can hit just these strings, but I also have the choice. I can decide how intense I want to be by how many strings I'm going to strike. How intense do I want to be? Do I want to be this intense? Do I want to be this intense? Which is I'm controlling that. How many strings am I strumming? This is the Disco Biscuits at the beginning of the jam. This is the Disco Biscuits 20 minutes later. Okay, so now if you have this going on, this shouldn't be too tricky. We're going to do the same thing on the next string. This is covering kind of a pentatonic thing. Now, you can kind of noodle around on these notes here. If you're playing a trance kind of style, you would probably repeat something, some kind of lick that you really like. You could be a little bit more of a free jazz kind of, depending on what you want. I recommend trying to come up with some kind of structure. This is a general formula for creating many specific things, but you want to at least even temporarily isolate something. So now that we have this notes, the next notes that I'm going to add is going to be here. This is the 9th. This is a beautiful chord. And many of you are going to be tempted to move it around and, oh yeah. If it sounds weird, if that sounds weird, adjust the one note that's weird. A lot of times, now the next note, because I'm going to be in Dorian, is going to be here. Then I have, again on the 10th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret, and the 12th fret if you want to get this octave. So this is, I'm just going to kind of mess around with this, but this is really, really a fun thing to jam around with. So that's just kind of going up and down the scale, but the permutations are endless. Now, don't forget about this, Now, if you're going to come down into this area, you slide your index finger, and you're going to hit the root with your third finger. That opens up this kind of thing. This is starting on the 6th strings, 5, 7, 5, 7. I encourage you to use some chromatic passing notes. So here's kind of a way to just practice getting into both of these areas. Now these low notes, you probably want to use them at the end of the phrase. Hit the third. Bend the third up a tiny bit. You want to know something about playing rock music and you really want that authentic sound, you got to bend the third up the tiniest bit. The tiniest bit. That's too much. That's still too much. Okay, not that much. Okay, there you go. Even in minor, in minor, in blues especially, but even in minor, even in classical music sometimes. Maybe I didn't say that. I forget I said that about classical music, but so I don't know. Okay, getting into the different areas. Now we can also, this is another thing, 7th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret, 7th fret of the D, 7th fret of the D, or 9th fret of the D, giving us a full, complete scale with the E minor accompaniment underneath it. Now, I told you I was going to tell you some stuff. Now that's one of my tricks, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to get a little bit deeper, and I'm going to get into some really good stuff, some really good secrets. These are amazing. These are some magical secrets that I'm going to be giving. I use this on the drums, and I use this on the guitar, and this is how to make people's eyes roll in the back of their heads. This is how to make people like. These will have psychological effects on your audience one way or another, and even in this video, this is a pretty low quality video, but even this video, you might be able to appreciate this. So here's what you have to know. First of all, you have to know how to spell the E minor chord. E, G, B. You need to know that E, G, B is the notes in the E minor chord, which has the notes E, G, and B in them. E, G, B. Find your E, G's, and B's wherever they are. There's a lot of E, G, B going on the guitar, and you want to know where all that stuff is. So, work that out. That maybe, go to another video for that. Those are the chord tones. E, G, and B are chord tones. The notes in the scale that are not chord tones have a name. They're called non-chord tones. So the chord tones are E, G, and B, and the non-chord tones are all the other notes. And because I'm in Dorian, it's going to be F sharp, A, and C sharp, and not C natural because I like Dorian. I like that major 6 funky flavor. And so did Corey. Let's... Okay, so here's what's going to basically happen, and it's a simple. It's going to sound simple, but we're going to work with me a little bit. Non-chord tones resolve to chord tones. Most people know that. Most people know this is the 7th, and it resolves up to the octave. Everybody knows that the 7th resolves to the octave. Now, you're not going to get people's eyes rolling in the back of their heads. That's a good funky riff, and you can do that. But if you really want to create some intensity in the room, if you want to make the walls shake, you have to hold the non-chord tone for a long time. And you need to do a crescendo. So you need to hold the non-chord tone for a long time, and you need to do a crescendo. Okay? You cannot prematurely resolve the non-chord tone too early. You need to make it dramatic and hold it out. And let's listen to that same thing, but really drawn out. Now I'm going to relax. Take it easy. You're at home. Now we're going to build up more tension. Crescendo. Get louder. Strum more strings. Keep the energy. Keep the energy that you have. Now we're going to go to the non-chord tone again. Build it more. Keep the energy level going. Try to keep it without being so loud. Build up again and keep going in. So this is something that can just be done over and over and over again, infinitely and infinitely, and constantly increasing the intensity. And all you do is you create tension through the non-chord tone, and when you resolve to the root, maintain that tension. Maintain the tension you created. And then create more tension through a non-chord tone. You got to hold the non-chord tone out a little bit. The longer you hold it out, the more intense this will be. If you wait too long, the non-chord tone begins to sound like the chord tone of another really weird chord. It might actually sound like this is the chord. And so maybe that is the chord in some songs. But we want this. You have to feel the pull. This has to... Oh, I gotta get to here, man. until I get to here, I'm not going to be able to shut the song off. Now, there's other non-chord tones. I showed you the one non-chord tone. You can do the same thing here. Non-chord tone, result of the chord tone. Non-chord tone, result of the chord tone. Non-chord tone, result of the chord tone. Non-chord tone resolves to another non-chord tone. This is what you do at the end of the song, okay? You've done your non-chord tones and you've resolved it, and you have built up the energy, and things are smoking, the room is shaking, people are paying attention to you, and now you get up to the scale. You're getting higher and higher. This is taking, this is a long process. You gotta hold this note. Now with this note, people are psychologically gonna want it to resolve. They might not even know. They might even think that this is the highest note. If you hold this note for a long time, they might think that this is actually as high as they can go. If they're not looking at your hand and they don't know the guitar. So you gotta just... Now, when I really want to fuck with you, this sounds bad, but it will actually... And then now if you can maintain that energy level and begin that entire process over again, to create tension, and then resolve the syncopation to regular strumming, or regular-ish. Syncopation on the tension note.